I was born in an urban setting because my parents were workers in an urban setting. But I was later on raised in the village. So I had a bit of experience of an urban setting growing up and then in the village. And I understood that my parents, my mother specifically and my grandmother, were very careful with the raising of girls and young women as a community. Always talking to young women and girls, always mentoring them on many issues around puberty, issues around marriage, issues around having your first child, issues around having a husband now, and how to live in community as a grown, married, adult woman. They also focused on the education of girls. Again, my mother being a nurse, she was very clear in speaking with young women and girls around issues of reproductive health and rights. You know, you're at this age now, you have reached your puberty, you can get pregnant. It doesn't take long for that to happen. Be careful. Be careful. These are things she said to me as well. And I thought at the time my mother was crazy. In our culture, you don't speak to your daughters like this. Your grandmothers are the ones who talk to the daughters about such things. But my mother was not going to have anybody else talk to her daughters but herself. You can get pregnant, it doesn't take long. Focus on your education because education is your mother, your father, and everything. It opens your horizons. Focus on it. Boys will come later, husbands will come later, but focus on education. Having decided to, if you're a girl who has decided to get married quickly, they'll focus on how you can look after your family, how you can look after yourself, how you can look after the child, and how you can look after your body as a young woman. They always focus on this. Now, fast forward when I was discussing with you, Dr. Castle, about starting some work with a foundation in memory of mom. You will recall we discussed the protection of young women and girls because that's what I saw them doing, my mother and my grandmother. That the girls and young women were very precious to them. Reasons being, in a patriarchal society, they were very vulnerable. So it goes without saying that that was my natural progression to starting Nayapachuma Memorial Foundation. And at the time, you remember in 2013, we talked about a sanctuary for young women and girls.
Yes.
Where girls can be whoever they would want to be. That if we, the elder women, each one of us carried one of the girls under our wings, we could all learn how to fly and the world would be a better place.
Yes.
This was the genesis of Nayapachuma, helping girls to learn how to fly and to be whoever they wanted to be. We realize also that even though we want girls to fly, they are very vulnerable in our societies. What mechanisms could we put in place? That is where the issue of the sanctuary came in. That will have a sanctuary where if young women and girls have problems in community, in university, in their own homes, they can come and speak out to the elders in Nayapachuma Memorial Foundation, and together we can find solutions for their problems. We may not have built a sanctuary by now, but sometimes we use our own homes as sanctuaries for young women and girls until such a time when we have enough resources to build a sanctuary where they can find counselors, where they can find nurses in case they are violated, where they can find psychologists that can deal with the issues of traumatic nature and help them um, deal with that, where they can come and learn skills, where intergenerational dialogue can take place, where they can feel free, ready to fly, and empowered to go into community and do whatever they need to do to help others. So that is where the inspiration came from. But as we have said, it didn't come from without. It came from seeing my mother and my grandmother taking care that the girls had safe spaces and that they were able to protect themselves should anything happen to them. They knew where to go for support, emotional support, and other forms of support.